Okay, afternoon everybody, and again, this is great for trying to do this video because many of you are like myself, very concerned about what's happening in our island. Um, and I just want to talk about the topic of education today because there's there's 59 candidates, and I think everybody means well. I really think they mean well for our island. But again, like many of you guys who want to give your opinion, as a concerned person, I'd encourage you to do what I do, flip on your phone on a tripod, give your opinion to the candidates. Because I think a lot of them mean well, but I think a lot of us know too that many or young people are not voting. And part of the way they're not voting, I hear them say things like, oh, it's just going to be the same thing. And it's just going to be a different group of people and they're not going to hear, they're not going to listen. So I'm encouraging everyone, you guys, to use your voice. Again, use your phone, but make sure I try to give as constructive criticism as I can, simply because again, this is our island. I have nowhere else to go. I don't want to go nowhere else. Wouldn't say I have nowhere else to go, but I don't want to go anywhere else. But Grant came on to live. So topic today, education. I've heard quite a few candidates talking about wanting to fix the education system. But I'm going to just say this first of all about, and then later I'm going to go down to solutions, right? I'm going to say this. Part of why I think a lot of young people and people won't vote is because I think with a lot of candidates, they definitely mean well. And they, I'll say you guys, because I'm not running as a candidate. So I'll say you guys come in with saying we're going to fix education, we're going to do this. And then what happens is when you get into the parliament and then you find people that don't share your views or don't support you, next thing you know, because you can't get anything done with a majority vote. Yeah, again, I hear so many candidates saying this is what their people's going to come first. But again, you cannot do anything unless you get a majority vote in the House, all right? Whether that's backbenchers, running, whoever is the leading part or whatever, you needed a majority vote to get anything done, yes? So I'm gonna just respectfully say, don't promise stuff that you guys cannot deliver on. Because again, if it was your business, like if you're an employer and you ran the business yourself, then you could choose what you're gonna get done for your company and your employees. But again, you're looking at a group of people. So if you don't get the vote, you won't get, so let's not promise what you guys can't deliver on, because again, part of it is that makes it, especially younger people, get very disgruntled and feel hopeless because they're like, oh, she promised me, he promised me this stuff, and then you get in the house and you can't get it done. Okay, so I'll just preface on saying that. So back to education. Again, I've heard so many people say about what, education needs revamping and stuff. But I'll just say this as somebody who's been very involved with young people and children probably all my life. I see so much. What I'm seeing is a whole lot of lack. So we're going to talk about parenting as one of the solutions. Maybe I'll jump to that in like right away. So what really education system really needs is parents that are involved with their children. And thank you to those good parents who set a good example to your children, check their homework, provide a drug-free environment for them to live in, provide an alcohol-free environment to live in. Kudos to you parents that are doing that and working very hard and setting a good example. I applaud you, and I take it, and there's many people are doing that. On the flip side, there's a lot of parents who I know a parent, and this person didn't even drink, they didn't even smoke, they weren't a clubber, but yet there was a end term session where you go get the report cards, and the parent had not even gone to the school to pick up the child's report card. They said they had to work. Okay, yes, so you can call if you're on a shift where you can't get off that shift. Then I'm sure all you need to do is call the school and tell them in advance or tell them after that, hey, sorry, I had to work, I could not get to my child's reporting session, so can I pick it up tomorrow or whatever, right? Give some explanation, guys. There is parents, like I said, someone that not even on drugs, not even has a problem with alcohol, not even what you call deadbeat parent, but they didn't even show up to get their child's report card. All right, so number one, candidates, please, 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 I beg you, please don't say you guys gonna fix this and promise stuff you can't get, because that's where people lose hope and young people kind of feel, oh, it's just people promising stuff and it never gets done 4 years later. So don't do that. What you can do, again, guys, please, 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 ask children, ask parents. And you might think, oh, they're gonna badmouth me for saying that. Yeah, because unfortunately we're in a society when you speak about things that need to be fixed. We're in such a mediocrity society, where kind of almost anything goes, that when you're the problem that speaks about something that should get fixed, you get torn up. And yeah, so we created an environment whereby, again, kind of almost anything goes, sort of. So, but back to that, guys. But candidates, there's a lot of parents there's a lot of voters that want to hear you say, that could cause you to get elected, that want to hear you say, parents, step up to the plate. Because I know you guys live in the real world, and you guys know there's many, many, many parents who are deadbeat. There's a lot of deadbeat fathers. There's a lot of parents, again, I hate to say it, they're bad moms. They're clubbing and, running up and down, they're drinking, partying, and their children are being left to raise by grandparents. So, and again, if you don't know that, you can't be living in the Cayman Islands. And this is happening everywhere across the world. But Cayman is our foreparents, our grandparents set a good example for us, showed us how to live, showed us how to be sober-minded, good church, be honest, be loyal to your husband, be committed to your wife, to set a good example. We've seen that, guys. So we cannot be talking about, oh, the rest of the world are doing it. So why not let Cayman be the example, a model that the rest of the world gets to look on, yes? So again, candidates, please, please, please encourage parents to be involved in the lives of children. Talk to the deadbeat man. Tell them it's not good enough. Again, I repeat, you might think you may not get votes for it, but there's dozens and dozens and thousands of people that need you to say, parents, for those of you that are not being good parents, step up to the plate, pay attention to your kids, go to their football games, take them to Sunday school, provide a drug-free environment for them. Don't be having alcohol and weed and stuff right around where your children are at. So again, candidates, I beg you, I beg you, I beg you, I beg you. Talk to parents, those that are not. Again, applaud those that are being good parents, because those that are being good parents are going to thank you for doing that. Those that are not being good parents, hopefully they're brilliant enough to say, he's talking to me, she's talking to me, and yes, I need to get better, because I need to provide a better Cayman for me and my children. And it all begins with me, how I conduct my life. And so, because our society is made up of homes. So when you get individual homes that are going well and doing well, then the society will do well. So let's all, charity begins at home. Let's all do our part to be good human beings, where children can look on and say, and say, oh, she's a good person, she's drug-free, she's alcohol-free, she sets a good example. Don't worry about a good person, because some of us, no matter how good a person you try to be, some people will still say you're not. But at least be drug-free, be alcohol-free, set a good example whereby you know within yourself that if a child looks at you, then they can say, I didn't learn to smoke weed from you, I didn't learn to be an alcoholic from you, I didn't learn to steal from you, so be a good role model, each and every one of us, yeah? Okay. Because even when we try to do that, we will still get accused of things differently, but that's okay. Just know within yourself that you are setting a good example, yes? So that is one of the solutions, right, on education. But okay, so we're going to jump up here too, because See, guys, candidates, I don't know how much else. We're talking about the inflation. I'll get to that at a different time. I'll get a house in a different time. That's a different story. But we're talking, I don't know how much more expense taxpayers can handle. I really, really don't. I know what Mr. Elio Solomon said on his podcast a few weeks ago how he wanted taxpayers to understand that when you asking candidates or politicians or parliament for this and for civic center and for hospital, this and that and other, do know you are really asking the taxpayers for this stuff, okay? So I repeat again, you might say, oh, this candidate didn't get you this and didn't do this road and didn't do the civic center. You're really saying to the taxpayers, you guys didn't do it because it's the taxpayers. Just look at inflation. Look at the high cost of living, guys. Look what inflation is. Just check it out, what it is. So again, when you have all this debt to service, look at what causes inflation. Just check it out. So again, because right now, guys, the education system, it started out with just elementary children having free lunches and stuff. But you need to know, which I didn't know, and I found out recently, that the high schools now, the public high schools now are getting the free breakfast, free lunch, free break. At least that's what I'm told. I've seen a lot of it, but again, a lot of it is where they're getting 3 meals a day. I thought it was just lunch, right? But I was reliably informed that it's 3 meals a day at the well, it's no more middle school, high school level across on public schools. So taxpayers are paying for that, guys, okay? Number 2, and so again, when you talk about fixing the education system, I don't know what else that taxpayers can pay, how much more we can get burdened, which causes cost of living to increase, causes inflation, the more debt we have to service. But in the schools, you have cadet corps, okay? You have so many after school programs and programs that's trying to help children be not just academical well balanced, but even after school for parents that have to work till 6 o'clock. There's cadet corps, there's YMCA, there's again teachers being nicely paid now, very nicely paid. So then you have, guys, then again we're talking to those of you guys candidates are saying we're gonna fix the education system. How we can beg you guys, how you guys say back to the public, hey, let's take responsibility. Let's teach our children to take responsibility. Let's embrace opportunities, because I can tell you, there's a TVEC school going right now. It's through Inspire came on, all right, with Mr. Michael Miles, a really, really well, lot of good vocational, because like people say, oh, not everybody wants to be a lawyer or doctor. So I'm one of those people that, yeah, I like to do things by hand. I don't like to sit in an office. I really don't. I wish I was a plumber. I would love to know how to plumb, electrical, AC, all this stuff. And so again, an Inspire came on, and we have a public, I heard so many people saying, oh, we need a vocational school. We have a vocational school, guys. Now I agree, there's cohorts in there that they have to get through, and then before they can register the next one. But I myself wanted to learn a little bit about AC, and so I enrolled my class myself at night at UCCI. They have, again, for those people who don't want to be lawyers, for those who want to be lawyers, then you've got a Truman Borden, right? And there's a lot of kids who are just very good with their hands. There's plumbing, there's electrical, there's AC, there's carpentry. Again, through Public Works Department and guys, and they give these kids a stipend so that if they need to get a bus to get there and lunch money. So I don't know why I keep constantly hearing we need a vocational school. I don't know why. I think it was Mr. Joey Hugh, kudos to him, set it up years ago. I think he was the one, I don't know if it was in place before that, but I think he's the guy. But at UCCI, again, I've signed myself up for the class. I wanted to kind of study, kind of understand the AC system. Now I was kind of disappointed. My teacher came to class late sometimes, and let's not go there. But yeah, so not just late, but I think sometimes didn't seem prepared. Yes, and so thankfully it was just a short term, like I think from January to March, I think it was like a term, and then it was done. But it gave me a good idea of just the AC. So even though I don't install ACs and stuff, I have a very good idea now, sort of how they freon and that sort of thing. I'll go back to the classes now later, I think, to expand even more. But again, simply to my point is, guys, taxpayers are funding the education system. I don't really know. And again, you got computer class in the afternoon. You have basketball club. You have the breakfast club. You have volleyball. You have football. You have um, triathlons, whatever it's called. But there's so much stuff there, guys, that I don't know what else that we can do. So as candidates, please don't promise anymore than we can deliver. Because when you do that, when you promise people that we're going to do this and we're going to do this, and you don't get the votes in the House, you don't. But again, education, I don't know how much, again, more taxpayers can really fund. Like I said, even YMCA, you got all of this stuff in the education. What we need, guys, and again, politicians, I know I said it before, candidates, sorry, but I'll repeat again. Thank those parents who are doing well, checking their kids' homework, setting a good example, providing a drug-free environment for their children to grow up in, and taking them to Sunday school, encouraging them to do their homework. And those that are not, then simply say to those guys, we need you as fathers to step up to the plate. We need you to be good men. We need you to be fathers in the home. We need you not to be having all these babies all over the place that you can't help take care of. One, to go to their home and see that they're doing homework. When you have all these children around the place, how do you go to work, as just as use a man, how do you go to work all day long? And if you have 3 kids around the community, how do you check? Yes, you can, if you really want to, call around, WhatsApp around, check, see how they're doing. But really it's hard to, special traffic, we'll get to that another time. How do you then check on, go to this house and see this child's doing homework, and go to Jean's house and see that she's doing homework, go to little Johnny's house and see that he's doing homework, read him a story, have dinner with him. How do you do that when you have 2-3 children around the community? All right, so let's as candidates, let's as a community, please, 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 please encourage men to be, what would I say? Again, not to be throwing their stuff all over the place, because it costs us taxpayers a lot of money. So candidates, again, talk to the truth of the matter, and which a lot of them is, and then you have mothers. I know mothers that don't hardly take care of their children. They'll go to work and go home, and they'll go somewhere for half hour, or they don't go home. They're checking one relationship didn't work out, and they're down at their boyfriend's house at somebody, and the grandmother is home with the children. So candidates, let's speak the truth. And I'm telling you, there's a community that would love you for it, would respect you for it, would like you for it, because you're telling the truth. You're helping us lower the cost of living by helping adults be responsible, good parents. Yes? So we're on to, so we basically said already what's in the education system. Now, what I would love to see more in the education system, what I'd like to see, and so it's not there, so I'm trying to have to create a platform of it myself. What I would totally agree that it could be where we can start teaching children, financial literacy from even, I see people that are doing it from 7-8 years old, and it's totally admirable, but at least from 10 years old. Teach kids the basics about money. I would love to see a good financial literacy offered in the schools, and budgeting, checking account, credit cards, that sort of thing. I would love to see that. And again, it's not there. I'm trying to create a platform with it on there, because I don't see it in the school system. Stocks. What is a stock? What's a bond? What's a mortgage? What's a mutual fund? basic stuff of finance. That I could like to see. And again, in a school system, that could be, that don't even need to be, let's just say if you don't do it through they already got a curriculum pick for the rest of the term. Then again, as a parent, you guys can jump on. There's courses, Dave Ramsey, he offers some really good courses on financial literacy for kids. So, but back to that, when the candidates are running, I'll beg you, and again, you can take my ideas, that's fine. If you want to see improve the education system, so this whole thing of our kids failing, guys, this whole thing of our children failing, it is not the taxpayer's problem. I'll give you another example. Check this with haircuts, with hair, right? The school system says, keep your hair well cut, real grown, look smart, because you one day gonna go in the work world. Pants in the shirt in the pants, hair cut, well. And look what's happening, guys. Look around in the society, and so many adults that you should expect to be a better example are running down their hair. I mean, we look like right now we look like we're living in Bob Marley town, right? I call it Bob Marley town. All this Rastafarian thing, all these dreadlocks, all the stuff the kids go to school, their hair in their face, this stuff, that down hair, all bushy stuff. Parents, and I know parents that should be encouraging their children, keep your hair cut, live within the school rules. But there's parents that, leave my child alone. They're just expressing themselves. They can, in the work world, guys, and to a prospective employer, you are not going to tell them, no, we can bully and we can cuss at the teachers and we can tell the education ministry that we have a right to wear hair how we want to, and the boys can do this, and the dreadlocks hair and the fall in your, you can tell the school system that. And again, as far as I'm concerned, we're teaching them from a young age, children how to be defiant. We're teaching them how to be disrespectful to the authorities, disrespectful to school, because we're letting them come to school, like I said, all what I call, like I said, dreadlocks, braids, when the school system clearly says, keep your hair cut short, well, maintained, well. So, and then when those kids go off track and start disrespecting the parents and cursing them out and smoking weed and looking like a, I guess you said, true Rasta, then, as a parent, we're upset. We are disappointed. But then you taught them from a young age. I know kids from 9, 10 years old in the high school that the parents should have been saying, school rules are you keep your hair well grown and you're going to cut your hair. No, they didn't do that. They didn't do that. They just allowed them to wear it however they want to. But I can tell you, to employers, you're not going to do that. I know employers that tell me, and I can tell you also that I have turned down, sue me if you like, that's fine. I have turned down whenever I'm building, and a guy comes to me, their hair all braided up. I tell you straight up, I don't employ them because if you can't get a helmet on your head, I wouldn't say I don't employ them, but I've had those that I've said to them, go home, get a helmet on your head, because we're on a construction site, honey. So I've had that where somebody was climbing on a trellis and a piece of 2x4, 2x8 slipped out his hand, hit the guy in the head. Thankfully, he had a helmet on. So employers, I know employers are not going to say to you, go cut your hair, or otherwise I'm not going to employ you. They're not going to do that, because they're not going to get caught into this foolishness about human rights and we're going to sue you for discrimination. They're not going to do that. I know employers that simply say, hey, when they come before them in this braided hair and stuff, that again, if you can't get a helmet in your head in the tourism market, you're dealing around tourists and stuff, and they want you well groomed, good haircut, clean well. You can't have this on your face and this and hair. No, they're trying to create a 5-star environment to tourists that come to the island, because I come from an area, a home, where we dealt with tourists all the time. And I've had tourists say to me, hey, listen, I've had tourists say, hey, listen to me, if we're going to look like we're in the Bronx, then I don't need to spend thousands of dollars to come to the Cayman Islands to look like I'm in the Bronx, yeah? So affects our image. There's hotels and stuff that want a 5-star image. They want, I know a guy, I rented to a guy before, and he told me he worked at a major 5-star hotel, and he said every morning he had to be clean shaved. His hair had to be cut. He said if he had tattoos, he had to put on a long sleeve to cover it, because the hotel wanted to create a 5-star image where people are professional, and again, they come here to get away from place where it looks ghetto and stuff. So it has an effect on you guys as employers. So again, those parents who can teach their kids to be defiant to school rules, yes, and can say, oh no, you know, I'm impeach or whatever on my human rights, that's fine, teach the child that. But the employer don't have the employee, okay? Again, I know employers say the child comes into the room, they interview him, they go through the protocol of interviewing him, but they don't anymore. I know this one guy told me that this major hotel told him, hey, that was years ago before all this human rights stuff came in. Told them straight out, you cut your hair and we'll employ you, okay? That was way back when. Now, they're not telling them that. They're not gonna tell them, oh, you must cut your hair because yeah, they don't want to get caught up on the foolishness about discrimination and all this stuff that bureaucracy that they're gonna get caught up in. They got companies to run. They have people to employ. They have to keep afloat as a company. They need to make money. They need to make a profit. They need to take HR. They have pension to pay. They have health insurance. So they don't have time to get caught in arguments about discrimination and all this stuff. So I'm just going to say to you guys, okay? I'm just going to say to you guys, parents, candidates, please teach to talk, please. Like the parents are doing well. And to those that are not, the community will like you for it as a candidate. They would like you for telling us people, take up our responsibilities in our homes. Be good stewards of our homes and our money. Be drug-free. Create a good environment. Go to your PTAs. Go to your kids' football game. Teach the kids to go to Sunday school. And I have no apologies, nada, none, for saying encourage your children to have a love for Jesus or a Christian faith or something that grounds them, guys, to keep them, gives them some sort of direction. I was raised going to Sunday school every Sunday, and I thank my parents for it. It gave me a sense of direction, guys. It gave me a sense of meaning and purpose, of why we're here on the earth. So, and again, when you have children that can sit in, go to Kamanabee on Saturday night and just roam up and down there till 11, 12 o'clock in the night, because why? Next Sunday morning, they are no Sunday school, no church, no faith, no good teacher, Sunday school teacher try to guide them there. They're sleeping 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, and then they get up and then they might help prepare food, and then there are games all day long. And we'll talk about games at another point in another video, guys. It's shocking. I didn't know it. I learned lately. A lot of these just going off here, it's education again, we're still on. A lot of these games and stuff that children of Minecraft, Roblox, really popular games that children are playing with. They have some parent activists that are showing how a lot of these games kids are going into on private chats. They have private chat rooms. They have predators. That are encouraging the kids to get off the games and go into private rooms. And the private rooms, there's predators. Again, they're teaching them to be defiant to parents. They're teaching them, I heard one of them, I can't remember exactly what game it is, but I'll tell you guys to try to subscribe to scrolling to the number 2 death. There's a parent activist there that's trying so hard to educate parents of the danger of a lot of the games because I heard a parent, I was trying to tell her, and she was like, oh, Minecraft just shows you how to do architecture. and it does. But what the parent don't know, that there is some of the people that are playing the games with the child, and some of those games, they also say DM me or private message me, or they're going into these private chat rooms. And in the private chat rooms, I saw where one parent was trying to educate the community about it. They're in games where it was real people or it's bots telling the children to be defiant to their parents, be disrespectful, they don't have to listen to their parents. They're showing them how to sell drugs. Yeah, they are. Again, based on, like I said, go to that Instagram page called Scrolling to Death. It's a parent, they're trying so hard, her and a group of people, to educate parents about a lot of these games that the children are watching. And again, the game might have meant well and started well, but apparently some of the people on the games are creating private chats and getting kids into, again, teaching them to shoot, to sell drugs. This is my understanding from, again, check out the Instagram, where activists are trying to educate parents so hard about, and that's where you can have kids that children can be bright children, good children, 9, 10, 11 years old, do well, A student, but all of a sudden, 13, 14, and this child has become a totally different person. They're smoking weed, they're being defiant to the parent, they won't cuss them out, a totally different child, yeah? And so again, a lot of it is the negative influences, guys. They're picking up from some of the games, and again, social media. So we even have to set up, again, a mental health area to deal with some of the kids, because again, some of our children are sitting on social media. Another thing about phones, guys. Get these little regular flip phones, guys. What is your child doing with a phone, a smartphone that had all the social media? And then you wonder what's happening to the education system? Come on, guys. We cannot fix a problem until we see what the problem is, right? And so again, back to candidates again, what I would encourage you to do again is try to educate parents about this stuff. And taxpayers cannot do any more to fix the education system. I don't think any more money can be put into this stuff, again, by taxpayers. Teach parents, again, teach their kids to go to Sunday school, homework, help with chores in the house, financial literacy. This is stuff parents can do. And again, but so many children, the problem is, so many children are living in bad environments where, again, there's drug use happening, there's alcohol, all this stuff happening in front of child, especially teenagers, right? And then you wonder why they're failing in school. Then you want to beat up on the, yes, I agree we have some teachers don't care, I agree. And it happens all over the world, I'm sure, right? But a lot of it is, we got to teach our kids to fight, meaning fight for themselves, to realize that sometimes there's employers or people around them that really don't care. But how do we get the kids to love themselves, to know their purpose in life, to know that God loves them, to know there's a reason for them being here, and so that they're not ending up on, this mental institution because of not knowing their purpose, not knowing, smoking weed, trying to get away from some of the problems. So again, back to the education system. Candidates, I can only encourage you, this is the last thing, but I can only encourage you to encourage parents to be better example, better role models for their children, and that the children say, hey, I know a lot of you are in bad environments, I know, but fight for yourself, know that this too shall pass, know that one day you're going to be 18, 20 years old and you're going to want to have your children. So try to make good choices for yourself, try to care about your own life, try to care about, don't sit there and just complain. It's you that got to live that life. No one else can live your life for you but you. So even though, again, some parents might neglect you, set up an example. We just ask our kids to just then take care of themselves, care about their bodies. Don't be sexual involved as a teenager. I mean, you got enough to be dealing with school and homework and projects and social media and drugs and alcohol. Then the last thing, you got to add sex to that. So we can't fix a problem until we see what the problem is, guys. And the education system, candidates, let's not say we're going to fix an education system if we don't get to the cause of the problem. And that is, a lot of it is home life. Let's start giving children and parents, so telling them to take responsibility for why a lot of their children are failing in the school system. It's not a taxpayers. It is not the teachers that are now paying what they're paying. I think a 4,500, was it 4,500, 5,000, whatever it is, around about somewhere in there to get paid. And we've got beautiful schools, and we've got AC schools. When you and I were going, a lot of us in the 40s and 50s, we had hot classrooms, but yet we still learned. We still went to school because we had parents that tried to guide us in a good way, right? So, like I said, they got state-of-the-art schools, and they have this and that, and the ACs, and so much more comfortable than when we were going to school. But then you have children coming out of school, can't read and write. That is not a taxpayer's problem. Again, it really isn't. It's not the school. We've got fancy buildings. Let's point the problem to really, really where it is, guys. And a lot of it is candidates. Sorry, I'm talking about candidates now. Let's be real. Don't think, yes, you will offend some people who are stupid, who want to blame life on somebody else, right? But go back again, the third thing I said, or third time I said it. Praise the parents that are doing well, showing up to PTAs, setting a good example, creating drug-free environment for their kids, paying attention to their children, paying the bills, even though it's stressful, sometimes you have to do 2 jobs. Encouraging kids to go to Sunday school, to have a faith, to be good people, to be sexual pure until marriage, all the good stuff that can hamper what kind of life you have. That's what we can be as parents and aunts and uncles and stuff, encouraging the young people. Because like Trump said, in America spends more per child than I don't remember if he said any other nation in the world, but he said America's one of the wealthiest nations in the world, right? But yet their school system is so way down. Again, look at the cause, yeah? So I'm gonna end this video here to recover everything. And again, guys, flip phones for children. Not kids with social media, and so they're fighting in the bathrooms. Some show sexual stuff, content on there. Oh, and then I also want to encourage the NDC. Okay, also gonna National Drug Council. Go into the schools. I know they do a survey once a year. I know that's done. But go into the schools and try to educate kids. This thing about weed won't hurt you. Well, if you're from the district I'm from, and if you're one of those honest doctors, they will tell you if you go to them. One doctor, I said, why don't you go on the talk show and talk about this and see the amount of young boys that are schizophrenic and bipolar because started smoking weed from a young age, yeah? And they've scientifically have data on that. Okay, but again, I said to the doctor, why don't you go on a talk show and try to educate our community about it? They're like, no, I have a clinic to run, which is true. Doctors, a lot of these private, well, once I was talking to was private, they have clinics to run, so they can go and talk on there. They know how they can be bad mouthed anyhow for doing it because, you know, weed and drugs is a big product for a lot of people. A lot of little boys, we have lost them, and facts show that our brains are not developed until the age of 25. So the science shows, I've heard about it from doctors, that if you have young boys smoking before the age of 25, they are at so much more risk for mental issues, right? So much more risk for schizophrenia and all this stuff. But yet you don't hear that. You just hear this thing of, oh, it's good for asthma and all this stuff, right? If you drink it, whatever. But let's for heaven's sake see the problem, nail the problem, where it is, and let's not be asking taxpayers to do more to education. Because again, the problems are laying in education. There's a lot of times from the home. Yes, we have teachers who don't care. I believe that. There's people that said that. I haven't met any of them yet. But there's people that claim, that says some of our teachers don't care. And that's quite possible. It's a problem all around the world. I'm sure there's people like that. But I do know there's teachers that care. They love their children. They care about them. They want the best for them. They try to teach them. And kudos to one of the wonderful counselors like Mr. Chris Murray, really trying to make a difference in the boys, in the lives of especially boys through his boys club. So thanks to those people, men and women, that are trying to make a difference in the lives of our children and set a good example. And so I'm going to end with that. Candidates, don't promise any more that needs to be done to education. Start talking to parents about the home life and to step up to the plate and to be good men and to maybe throwing your sperm all over the place and having all these children that you can't support. That affects the education system. All right, I'll end with that. Thank you guys for listening. Bye-bye.